tell a story. So I immersed this $3,000 to Westminster to go to college. Now to back up, after let's see, I will begin with the boyfriend, and I'm in full understanding of myself and my attachment style of the time. I was reaching out, and immediately after I broke up with Carlos, because I knew my behavior was toxic, and he didn't know how to deal with toxic behavior. I didn't know that I was a toxic person at the time, but I did, because it was one of those times where you're outside of yourself and you can't believe the things that you're saying and what you're doing, the behaviors that you're doing. They're just like you're not in control. So I started looking elsewhere on Tinder for my needs and wants and desires. I started looking at just talking to a lot of people over that site, Tinder, and I started dating this guy named Carlos Moreno. Charlie Brown is what I called him, because I couldn't bear to call him Carlos. And to be the person that I know is the truest and honest person, our first encounter was not ideal. It was very forceful and strange, and I was in a strange place, and I did not at all want to do anything with him. And I knew that, and it wasn't like that. He wasn't respectful enough to understand, and he must have been reaching out to or something, but this is me, my experience. And me and Charlie Brown, we went to a party after high school. Me and Carlos Eduardo Rodriguez Jr., we didn't speak, although we sat next to each other at the graduation. We had broken up like a month or 2 months before graduation. And so I'll always remember that day with the white robes and my hair, and sitting next to the person that I got the most intimate with and saw the most in me at that time. And the person that really helped me see a lot of things for myself. But I'm glad to be the person that I was, to have broken up with him. Anyway, so after I moved to Salt Lake City, after earning $3,000, and the money was really important, and I was thinking that I was putting it in the right place, but I was taught not to get credit, and my mom had cut me off with funds when I stopped going to church, so I got to pay for everything myself. And it created a lot of trauma, and it began thoughts of ways to earn money, and not really speaking to him. I was speaking to other people and connecting when I was in Lehigh, living there with dearly. And it's a bummer. The toxic behavior has to be worked on a lot in order for a person not to be toxic anymore. I'm still working on it. Anyway, it was when I was working at Denny's that I first had the thought to uh, sell myself for sex. However, um, it was really another person that put that idea into my mind. It was somebody off of Tinder that was said like, "Oh, I'd give you $200 just to come to like my bathtub or something like that." And I don't remember what it was exactly, but I was like, heck no, at the time. But then I was like, wow, like $200, that's a lot of money. Maybe I can like, so that's just like the first thought process. Um, After moving to Salt Lake City, started to go to school at Westminster, and it was awesome. I took 4 classes. I took business and education. I took migration and immigration and migration, or immigration and education course, my macroeconomics course, and a creative writing course, and they were all wonderful. And I would have loved to stay, but these wheels were turning, and I wasn't able to functionally. I wasn't able to do my taxes, get my FAFSA in time, and do my homework, and not want to die at the time. So I really wanted to be able to pay for college, but not only that, I had to pay for rent. So I just simply stopped going to school, and I was hoping they'd give me money back, but they didn't give me any money back. And Westminster gave me just so much trauma from trying to get money. And with school, trusting the school, I didn't feel like I trusted them, but it was all me. It was my doing. I could have been more prepared and more focused, but as it goes, we don't function that way, or I just don't function that way where I can just keep the wheels turning and going and going. I started thinking about a lot of things, and in fact, after leaving college, I thought, well, this whole world is school. Why do we need to go to school when we're always learning? Why not have groups and free education everywhere? Because what do we even need in life? If you needed a hamburger, you could go to your friend, the one that's making the hamburgers. My friend works at Marion's, and I could go over there and get hamburgers, and I would give him free yoga sessions and do some chores or other things that are more fit for me. Maybe live entertainment and stories. And I'm lucky enough to have a brain that does function most of the time. So, I mean, except for to have like a structured talk about my story. I hope to write a book about what exactly happened. Or I am writing a book about what exactly happened after high school. Because it affected me a lot, and I want to express all those feelings so that anybody else who is going through the same thing can talk. Having something very true out there is enough for me to release those things and to know that everything is fine and beautiful, and that we are divine, amazing people that all deserve the whole world. And it all starts with those demon thoughts that tell you that you can't, you're not worth it, your body somehow isn't attached to yourself, and there's no other option. Sometimes these stories are divine, or all these stories are divine, I think. There's nothing more pure than our memories and perceptions of what's happened and what we've learned and gained from our reaction to those things. Um, I'm going to stop speaking now, and I'm going to do another episode. So hopefully you stay tuned. And I'll be talking more about what happened to me after high school.